Please welcome our next team, Team 10 from Wesley Girls High School. Their project name is Exploring the Lying Flat Mindset Among the Young Adults. Please welcome Team 10.
Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, the results still aren't ideal?
Yes.
At times like this, you might wonder,
what's the point of all these efforts?
I'm so tired. Maybe I should just give up.
this is actually the mindset that many people are facing nowadays, and it's also the inspiration behind our topic.
Final realization!
Turning
Life pressure
into
metric success!
exploring the lying flat mindset among young adults. We are Team 10, and we study psychology in Taiwan. I'm Grace.
I'm Eunice.
And I'm Luna.
First of all, let's talk about what the term lying flat is all about. In 2021, with the intensification of the contemporary competitive culture and economic pressure, the term lying flat became a buzzword on the internet in China, having specific sociological meaning of people no longer actively striving to buy a house, having a family, and giving up ambitious goals in favor of the lowest standard of survival. Nowadays, the term lying flat has spread globally through online media and has been enthusiastically pursued by young adults. Although the situation and terminologies varies in different countries, they both share the similar ideas, such as the needs in the United Kingdom. The concept of lying flat among young adults reflects the current youth culture of giving up easily and living a life without ambition. They may choose to withdraw due to competition and pressure in the comfort zone, and also be falling into a state of reducing self-efficacy. Some experts explain it as learned helplessness, which simply means when an individual repeatedly experiences a negative situation, they may feel themselves incapable of controlling the situation and will give up trying in the future, even if there's possibility of changes. If this attitude is not addressed actively, it may potentially develop into other serious psychological disorders. With the raising concerns, we should start by reflecting on schools, which are the fundamental institutions that shape young adults. Taiwan's education system is characterized by long study hours. On average, schools have 8.5 hours of classes per day, ranking 5th in the world. This prompts us to think about the difference between Taiwan's education system and those of non-Asian countries, as well as how these differences contribute to this phenomenon. Undoubtedly, the length of school hours brings about the most significant differences. Taiwan students attend school as early as 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Most of the students also attend additional cram school sessions that often extend into the night and weekends. In contrast, many other countries have shorter school hours. We hypothesize that this arrangement may influence students' development outside of academic studies and reducing learning efficiencies during this stage of life. Therefore, this study aims to examine the relation between students' class time and their tendency to lie flat across different regions of the world. To systematically assess students' attitude to a lie flat across various global contexts, this study employs a mixed method approach through an extensive online survey and interviews. With a goal of collecting 5,000 responses and 100 in-depth interviews from students aged 12 to 18, we will be distributing 10,000 surveys across 5 continents: Asia, America, Africa, Oceania, and Europe, with at least 1,000 responses per region and 100 responses for each age group. To maximize global participations, this survey will also be disseminated through multiple social media platforms and shared in relevant online communities, students' organizations, and academic networks. This global sampling strategy will ensure a diverse and representative dataset, allowing us for cross-regional comparison. By analyzing the lying flat tendency level in different regions, we seek to determine whether shorter school hours correlate with higher student self-efficacy. However, given the absence of authoritative definition and standardized experimental framework for lying flat in psychological research, this study will employ a measurement tool incorporating elements from the lying flat tendency scale, the achievement motivation scale, and the academic burnout scale. In addition, we also recognize the cultural variability and self-reported perception. So we will also be designing objective indicators to reduce ambiguities in response. Furthermore, we will be comparing and justifying our survey finding with existing data, including but not limited to on-school start time, daily instructional hours, and extracurricular academic requirements. This comparative analysis will provide us a deeper insight into how these factors influence students' psychological and behavioral responses toward education, as well as the reasons behind. For data analysis, we will be conducted using pivot table analysis, allowing us to identify the trend and correlation between students' class time and their tendency to learn flat.
By examining how classmates affect students' self-efficacy and contributes to a phenomenon of lying flat, this study draws on both domestic and international experiences in class time arrangement to design a more attractive and effective school time that enhances students' learning motivation. These findings will provide empirical insights into whether Taiwan's intensive schooling structure inadvertently fosters disengagement and offer recommendation for optimizing its class time. As a psychology-related study, especially in the fields of social psychology and developmental psychology, this study can also have positive impact on education, sociology, and public policy. We will actively seek to cross-field cooperations and improvements with the aim of helping young people get out of the lying flat predicament and realize their self-development and social contribution in a wider scope. This study will help to promote the development of empirical research on the phenomenon of lying flat and explore multiple causes and long-term and short-term consequences of this phenomenon through systematic analysis. Ultimately, this study will provide concrete and practical suggestions for the government, educational institution, and the community to help young people get out of the lying flat predicament and revive their motivation and enthusiasm for life, so as to promote their self-growth, career development, and achieve more positive social integration and personal values. The findings of this study may raise ethical concerns regarding the development of negative social labels. Therefore, it is important to emphasize that lying flat has no right or wrong, and diverse lifestyle choices should be respected. Additionally, we guarantee that we will ensure to protect privacy and personal data, which is a crucial ethical consideration. All participant information will be handled confidentially with informed consent and autonomy respected throughout data collection. Our total research budget is £250,000. This budget supports our comprehensive and large-scale research study. Thus, we have allocated into 6 categories: research integrity protection, research instruments, data handling, personnel fees, participant engagement, and unforeseen costs. First, to ensure research integrity protection, we have allocated £10,000 for ensure research integrity, £8,000 for asset protection, and £5,000 for ethics review application fees. Next, to acquire the necessary research instruments, we have set aside £20,000 for test purchases, £15,000 for the acquisition of psychological skills, and £10,000 for archival research access fees. In terms of data handling, we have designated £20,000 for data collection and analysis software, and £15,000 for survey platform fee. Personnel support is an essential part of our project, and we have allocated £100,000 for personnel and research assistants, with working full-time and all of the assistants as professional data analysts. According to the average salary per year of a data analyst, we could employ 2 assistants to complete this project in 12 months. As for participant engagement, we are dedicating £30,000 for survey distribution and advertisements. Lastly, to accommodate the unforeseen costs in participant engagement, we have reserved £12,000 in miscellaneous funds.
And this is our project timeline. We'll be using a year to complete our research project. Our research will start with a 2-month literature review to gather existing studies, identify gaps, and refine our theoretical framework. In month 3 and 4, we will design surveys and research instruments, conducting initial tests for refinement. From month 5 to 7, we will use mixed methods to do full data collection. Month 8 and 9 will focus on using pivot analysis study to answer our research questions. In month 10 and 11, we will document findings, discuss implications, and compare them with existing literature. Finally, in month 12, we will review and format our work for submission, ensuring quality. In conclusion, this research aims to help young adults reignite their passion for studying and learning before they lose hope in their education, with a particular focus on the role of self-efficacy, which is essential in changing their attitudes toward education, motivating them to engage more deeply with the studies and overcome academic challenges. And through this research, we hope to design an authoritative psychological test and take people to have a glimpse of this severe issue. By discovering the bond between the time left for school hours, the learned helplessness of Taiwanese students, and the low sense of self-efficacy. We would also like to emphasize the importance of lying flat and know the high potential of our research, which enables students to study in a more comfortable yet efficient environment, but also raise the high awareness of society to this topic. Furthermore, this research aims to help students aged 12 to 18 to find the factors that can help them deal with their academic stress and problems more easily. By doing so, they are more likely to face their frustration and build higher self-confidence. By having the element of positive attitudes, they can activate their will and positivity for living, which will improve their life quality and mental health. But what is the main point of all these benefits? That is, to have these young adults give full play to their personal value. And this is our references. And as for the reasons that our research is worthy for you to invest, we would like to highlight 3 points below. First, in this project, we discover the connections between the time length of school hours and the learned helplessness of Taiwanese students and the efficacy of the students, which can help us develop better ways to adjust current education system to help students in the future have a positive environment to study, which can explore more things they love, as well as discover their potential. Second, when these students grow up and start their careers, no matter what they will be in the future, they will be more likely to have what texts will teach them, along with the skills they need in their workplace. And last but not least, since the concept of lying flat has just been created, the related research and data are still not much, which makes our research more valuable and important. Moreover, the forms designed through the study progression can bring will be unlimited. And that wraps up our presentation for today. We sincerely hope that you can support our project and to reform education and build a better society. After all, the key to change the study environment and atmosphere lies in changing students' attitudes toward education. And that's how we tackle the root of the problem. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Great presentation, great teamwork, very nice. And your English level also very good, so we can hear you loud and clear. So very interesting topic. I'm a parent myself, so this is something we really worry about. And you connect this with study hours. My question is this the only issue for people doesn't have hope for future, or if there are many reasons why young students need to stay in school for so long, and other things that both parents go to work. What parts do you think, other than just study the hours and why they are not having so much positive side for the future? How about the school part? Have you thinking about it other factor? Maybe it's government or school. So other factor can help young people to have some hope for their future.
Let me clarify your question. Is it because that you want to ask us why do we choose the factor that shorter school hours correlate with higher student self-efficacy? Is that what you're referring to?
Or if you just want to ask if there's alternative ways to help the lying flat problems.
actually have higher productivity during the experiments. So this prompts us to think about if Taiwan's class hours can be reduced, maybe students can have more productivity and lesser torture in time when we're in education. Yes, and if shorter school hours, it doesn't mean just the time. Doesn't mean the time factor. It have to rebuild the education system, like the contact on the textbook and a lot of other things. But we don't mean that students will not want to go to school. Instead, we just want to reduce the academic study time, and we can replace it with other
extracurricular.
Yes. Thank you.
Appreciate your presentation. Sherry was mentioning too. I'm a father, so I'm worried about my children studying as well. I know. I think everybody kind of knows that school in Taiwan is very difficult.
Yes.
But Taiwan also scores some of the highest, for example, in mathematics and science, better than the United States high school students, where they study less. Is this just the price of being excellent? And also, you just mentioned Microsoft, where we can talk about TSMC, or we can talk about Foxconn. These are amazing companies where the engineers work hard. Again, is this just the price of excellence? And lying flat, maybe those are for the people that can't handle the difficult system. They need to find another source. But this system maybe needs to stay in place because it produces such excellent results. Do you have a comment on that?
Well, do you know the term innovation? Was that it just simply means that people just work so hard to be perfect, and then like in China, in most of the Asia countries, but not most of them, but so this result is that we feel so tired of being perfect and working so hard, and we just work so hard on tests and those grades instead of doing what we're really interested to and being really having a very lovely life. Yeah,
And so I was wondering, when you mentioned score, do you think score means everything? Like when we talk about my score, for example, and I'm a university student, and so my score in the university means everything. When I get into when I get into my career, do my boss care about my score in my university? They only cares about my efficiency on work. Like the scores doesn't mean anything. And about TSMC and those engineers, and they work very hard. But what is the payback? That is, they might die immediately in their workplace. They have huge work stress, and they just want to be perfect to tell their boss like, oh, we did some efforts to our company, and can I get more about our salary? No, they won't do anything about it. They just want their company have good.
And despite the perfection, there's also a lot of raising concerns that Taiwan's employment have already got so many mental and psychological issues, disorders. So we should